out to the forums. I assume there's other people here that enjoy seeing God at work in various historical figures. Very inspiring. I would like to talk about my favorite president, Andrew Jackson. An amazing man. How could God not have been with him? It's almost miraculous. His whole family died in the Revolutionary War. His mom, his dad, his siblings. He was sabred in the face as a child by a British officer, leaving a permanent scar on his face. And then he went forth to fight the Battle of New Orleans. The British were highly trained and highly armed. Andrew Jackson went forth with poorly trained plowmen off their farms, poorly armed, poorly equipped, fought the Battle of New Orleans. 8 Americans dead, close to 3,000 British casualties. How does a man do that? Do we ever see that happening? And it wasn't a bunch of Americans firing behind trees either. I mean, it was just miraculous. People that witnessed the battle said it was God and the angels. The Americans miraculously rained down fire on the British, and it was as though the British bullets were guided to miss and the American bullets were guided to hit. It was just amazing. And so people saw Andrew Jackson as an anointed one. And Andrew Jackson was in a draw. He was shot in the heart, and he walked away from it like it was nothing. Had a bullet there for the rest of his life. Andrew Jackson was the first president where an attempt was made on his life. The man who fired the guns fired 2 rounds. Both of them, the bullets or the caps or whatever you call them, exploded. And yet the bullets didn't go anywhere. And then oddly enough and comically, it was Davy Crockett that restrained the man. And he said something along the lines of, "I've always wanted to know the dumbest criminal in the world, and I'm looking right at him." And Andrew Jackson was very unqualified to become president. He was like a hermit in the woods, a man who lived in nature. People made fun of him and said he'll save the presidency a lot of money with his diet, because when he was on the Florida campaign, one of his men saw him eating while they were hungry, and they told him, "You should be sharing your food." He showed them what he was eating. They were acorns. And so he was up against people far more brilliant who could have been presidents. But people saw Andrew Jackson as an anointed man by God. Though uneducated, could not write well, could not spell well, it was simply people saw that God, or providence, or whatever they wanted to call it, even atheist historians declare the facts, and they do not disagree. And so, yeah, he became president. So he's on the $20 bill. And I believe that he is in heaven with a lot of other American souls that have died, including politicians and presidents, that have left their body behind and gone off to their eternal reward. And so I believe they're looking down upon us, trying to change this country. I believe they have their own equivalent of the heavenly White House, and they shall return as monarchs, heirs to the throne of Christ. They shall conquer America and set up God's kingdom and God's government and God's empire to bind the forces of evil and reclaim America. Let's go try to fight a global New Orleans, a global miraculous victory, because the Battle of New Orleans, that was like one of the type of victories you would see in the Old Testament. I mean, how often do you see something like that? I can't think of another one since biblical times. So, may God bless you.